Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Welcome to this beautiful Thursday morning. Our teacher this week is Swami Vivekananda, and our theme for today is surrender. I love this theme, but it can be a pretty difficult concept to grasp. Sorry, I'm still adjusting my camera here. Tracy, good morning. Happy Thursday morning to you. Danae, good morning. Hello, Sunmati, good morning. So happy to have you all here. Surrender is the theme. What exactly is surrender? When it's not just a pretty word that makes me sound all spiritual. How do we become really practical about the benefits of surrender? It's easy to resist the idea of surrender, right? Because it feels like if I surrender, I'll be allowing the things around me to control me. It feels like if I surrender, I'll be at the mercy of my environment. Celine, good morning. Happy Thursday morning to you. Sometimes it helps to understand something by taking a look at its opposite. Like, what would the opposite of being in surrender be? When we're not in surrender, when we're not surrendering, we are always fighting what is happening. Anli, good morning. Happy Thursday morning to you. In the absence of surrender, we are always in resistance, always in survival mode. And if I always react to my environment by fighting it, then the truth is, now I am at the mercy of what's happening around me. My environment is now 100% in control of how I act. Antoinette, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Surrender is exactly how we free ourselves from being controlled. Surrender allows us to be okay despite what's happening around us. Surrender teaches us that we can even be happy no matter what's happening around us. And now in this place of surrender, my options are no longer just to either fight or run. Because surrender helps me see that there are many more options available to me when I'm not in a state of fear. Rania, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. From this place of surrender, I might see that a kind word would be more helpful than fighting. From this place of surrender, I might see that taking no action at all is the most helpful because there's nothing that I can control here and I should just let things run their course. Linda, happy Thursday morning to you. But please understand that being in surrender doesn't mean taking fighting or running off the table as possible options. There are moments when pushing back or stepping up to the fight are the best course of action. But it's the difference between letting your fear push you into the fight or seeing with clarity that this is the wisest choice. Swami Vivekananda says, the whole secret of existence is to have no fear. Never fear what will become of you. He says that man has reached immortality who is disturbed by nothing material. Never think there is anything impossible for the soul. It is the greatest heresy to think so. If there is a sin, this is the only sin, to say that you are weak. And in the conflict between the heart and the brain, follow your heart. When we fight, we limit ourselves to the results that are possible from fighting. But when we surrender, we open ourselves to the results that are possible from cooperation. If you're ready for today's journey, you can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation to spend some time with you. As you breathe in, draw the air deep into your belly. With every inhale, fill up the balloon in your belly and feel yourself expand from that space outwards in all directions. And once you've reached your full height, then again let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Continue your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and falling with every exhale, while we have a conversation about surrender. Surrender could easily feel like, or the idea of surrender could easily sound like giving up. Being at the mercy of wherever the wind blows me. We often feel like in surrender, we'd be at the mercy of the environment. Whatever happens around us controls us. But approaching it from the other side really gets to the point quickly. How often are you reactive to your environment? Reacting to everything that happens in your environment. Fighting this, running from that. The truth is, when we are in resistance, then our environment controls our actions. When the things people say around me control how I feel, then my emotional state is controlled by my environment. The world around me determines how I feel. In surrender, we free ourselves from being controlled by our environment. In surrender, I have no need to react to what's happening around me or what's being said around me. Because in surrender, my options are no longer either fight or flight. But in surrender, my options expand. Because if I don't have to react, I have time to choose how I want to respond, or perhaps not at all. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right, take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we're able to do that right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. Follow the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. with your next big breath. As you dive deep into you, bring the word surrender closer again. What does the word surrender mean to you? What does the word surrender feel like in your body? Take your next big breath. Humans, we are pretty famous for being the source of our own confusion. And the picture that to me brings the most clarity to this concept is the image of our pond. So we're starting with the image of standing in our pond, water rising up to our hips. In the absence of surrender, we are often in fear. We are often in fight or flight. And when we get that, when we understand that, it's very easy to see how in this survival mode, when something in our environment triggers us, we often respond by splashing. Can you see the image of you standing in your pond, splashing, in reaction to something in your environment that triggered you, scared you, angered you? Play with that picture for a moment as you take your next big breath. Even if I did have clarity a moment ago, as soon as I start splashing, I stir up mud from the bottom. I create waves on the surface. And in an instant, my clarity is gone. We are very much like this when we are reactive to our environment. Can you see how your splashing in your pond stirs up silt from the bottom, makes the water murky so you can't see where your feet are at? Take your next big breath. react to our environment in fear, we tend to lose clarity. And when we look down and we can't see our feet, we can't see where to take the next step, our lack of clarity causes more fear. And very easily we get stuck in this negative feedback loop where our reaction to fear causes us to become even more scared. When we start reacting in fear, it's almost a guarantee that the next action will be taken in fear, and the next action and the next will be taken in fear too. Before we know it, we're not just creating ripples in our pond, but a full-blown storm. Take your next big breath. The worst part of the storm in our pond is not just that we can't see with clarity where to place our feet. It is what the storm in our pond does to our own reflection when we look down. When we look down at our own reflection in the middle of the storm, it is of course distorted by the waves in the pond. So while we are in a state of fear, we look down at our reflection and we see this broken image, this broken thing. And that is a bigger source of fear than anything else. Take your next big breath. Now join me as we step outside of the pond. Take a seat on the edge and do nothing. Just watch. And sometimes, and I get this question often, I'm sitting on the side of my pond, I've gotten out, but nothing's changed, I still feel the same. It takes time. It takes patience. Resist the urge to stick your hands back into the pond and try and make the water settle. Because of course, when we try and do that, we are creating the opposite. Alan Watts asks, do you have the patience to wait for the water to settle? Take your next big breath. You see, your natural state is just like the natural state of this pond. In the absence of splashing, it always eventually returns to calm. In surrender, the mud settles. The surface becomes smooth. And now when you look down at your reflection, you see a whole different picture. You see something that is a lot more true to who you really are. Take your next big breath. When you find yourself in the middle of your next storm, this is your work. To remind yourself, to catch yourself in the middle of the storm and have this conversation with yourself. While you look down at your image from the pond in your storm, will you remember to tell yourself, this image is not real? The problem is that in the middle of our storm, the feedback feels so real. It feels overwhelming and that we'll drown in the storm, as if the storm will last forever. In the middle of your next storm, will you remind yourself, will you have this conversation with yourself, that the image you see is not truth, that it'll take time for this pond to calm again, and then you'll see the truth of who you are. Have this conversation with yourself right now. Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together. Slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness enters and settles in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time these few thoughts from Swami Vivekananda. He says, the whole secret of existence is to have no fear. Never fear what will become of you. He says, that man has reached immortality who is disturbed by nothing material. He says, never think there is anything impossible for the soul. It is the greatest heresy to think so. If there is sin, this is the only sin, to say that you are weak. And in a conflict between the heart and the brain, follow your heart. All of it really good advice. But all of this advice can be hard to apply. Not having fear, that's a journey of a lifetime. But understand that fear will always make you splash in your pond. And that when you realize you're splashing in the pond, you're making the water murky, the only answer is to get out. Try and put the fear down. Remind yourself that in the absence of your splashing, things will become clearer. And more importantly, keep having the conversation about the image you see of yourself in the middle of a storm. Remind yourself every day so that in the next storm you are ready. You are ready to tell yourself that the image you see is not the full picture. and that you'll have to wait for the storm to pass before you can trust the image again. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful, clear image of my pond. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for understanding how I am always the source of my own confusion. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for not being hard on myself when I realize I'm splashing again. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to have the patience to wait for the water to settle, but also to have the patience with myself, who is a human being. The patience to recognize that even sometimes when I think I've gotten out the pond, somehow I must have fallen back in because I'm splashing again. Thank you for being patient with myself too. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on this journey with us. Good morning, Jenna. Hope you had a bit of time to sit down with us. Charlene, a very good morning. Good to see you. Almarie, good morning. Thank you for sitting around the pond with us. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Sunmarie. Thank you, Serene. Thank you, Linda. Have a beautiful day. I hope your pond is clear today, that you're able to see your own beautiful image on its surface. And if it's not, that's not abnormal. We all have that experience too. See if you can wait for it. Breathe. Have a beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.